Hey you guys, it's Brainy Chanel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to your Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, season 3, episode 6 review. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so the episode opens up with everyone meeting at Melody's office to talk about the comeback group. So now you all know this office used to be Mel and Martell's office. She has completely redecorated. She's made it her own office. She got pictures of herself on there, which I think is kind of weird and kind of self-absorbed, but okay. It's her office. She can do what the fuck she want to do, but they're pretty pictures. So everyone's coming in. They're talking about potentially dissolving the group. Marcel comes in first, and Marcel and Melody are having a conversation about the Destiny race and the Wanda and Miss Vanessa's argument. They talk about let me stop there. So he's basically saying that he did not want to interrupt that conversation. She basically, Mel is, saying that she didn't appreciate Wanda walking up on her mom like that. And then, Martell is saying, I don't understand why anyone would do that. And then Mel in her confessional says that, at one point he was spreading rumors about, Miss Vanessa. I don't know if you all remember, I think it was like season 2 when he kind of revealed on social media that she had a sex tape or something like that, which I thought was so disrespectful. It was a sex tape. It was VHS, bitch. So it was something so weird. Like, I don't know, she was working for one of their brothers, but ended up in a relationship and they had sex and they recorded. I don't know, but he said he had a tape, honey. And so, Melly was like, well, how can you say that? But then pretty much did the same thing. So I agree, Melody. So now they are talking about dissolving the combat group, and Mel says she wanted to do it back in 2019. So before we get into it, Martell, everyone is now coming in one by one. They're sitting down. They're talking about dissolving the group. They talk about how they felt back in 2019. So I'm assuming that it's Martell's week to have the children. So Melody stops the conversation. She's like, Martell, where are the children? He goes, they're in the office. And it's like she gets up and and she just gets up because I want to make sure, doing all this, I want to make sure that I see my kids and they ain't messing up my office. Okay, get up. Like, to me, y'all, and we're going to get more into it as I describe what happened in this meeting. But Mel is not innocent. Like, we can blame Martell for where he is in his marriage with Melody, but I feel as though, Mel, when it comes to these confrontations and shit like that, Mel can be a little bit antagonistic. Okay. I feel like she can get it started, and because Martell's ego is so fragile, he can't help but to respond back. So I feel like Melanie is very much so, she's not innocent. Like, she's the victim as it pertains to the marriage, dissolving and divorcing. But when it comes to these confrontations, she's very much so just as responsible as Martell's. Because really, all she could do was like, "Hey, y'all, give me a few moments while I go say hi to my kids. I'm gonna say hi to them and come back." Like, the, all this right here, girl, you're not from the hood. What is this? What is this? Like, it didn't have to turn into that. It gave theatrics. It didn't have to do all that. So she comes back. Okay, so Marcel, they're basically talking about the comeback group. Marcel comes up with a great idea of, if an individual sees a project that needs to be done and bring it back, he can bring it back to the group, to the combat group, so they can work on it, right? Melody starts talking about the business conversation between Marceau and Martell. And I'm telling y'all, Melody be starting this shit. She be getting this shit popping, right? Because why is the conversation between Martell and Marceau and Chris, why is that now? Why do you have to bring that up now? Like, that could have been a separate conversation you could have had with Martell, or you could have just not said anything. Like, why are we bringing this up? Like, why? Why are we bringing this up? And so, they're going back and forth. And Marcel was like, "Were you there? I mean, I didn't see you there. Were you there?" And she was like, "No, but Chris told me." Listen, if I'm thinking back to the episode, I don't know if Chris said anything messy. If he did, he's part of the problem. And I feel like they both need to not do business with him because he's like the go between, right? He's coming to, I don't know, he's coming to Melody, wanting to do business with Melanie, and then he's going back and forth. He don't need to be talking about anything personal. It should be strictly business, and he should not be bringing up the other's name when he's talking to one of them. He should not be doing that. But to me, it's like, why are we even talking about this? And Marceau is pretty much like, like it seems like we're having two different conversations. Whatever conversation that Melody and Martell was having prior to the meeting, they brought it to the meeting, right? And so, they're going back and forth, and Martell is like, "Yo, what is going on? We were just cool, like we were just fine. Like, what is it?" And so they start talking about they go back to the comeback group, and Melody's basically she's basically saying, "I want to do what I did back in 2019." And they're bringing up all the issues that happened before. And he said, "We were having issues because of you." Martell is telling Melody this. We were having issues because of you. Now, no, y'all was having issues because of the both of y'all. Okay. Because let me tell you, I did not like Martell nor Melody the first season. I feel like they was on that, you know, what is it? What is it? What am I trying to say? Misery loves company. That's what it is. They was on that misery loves company type bullshit. So it was okay for them to come on the show with their drama, but when their friends were like commenting on, which I really don't think they were really making fun of it, when they were commenting on it, they wanted to, "Oh, you got 20 girlfriends." Bitch, well, you was with me. You ain't care about my 20 girlfriends. Okay, you was there probably for, introducing me to these bitches. So why are we bringing this up? So I feel like the arguments they played a big part of it. Now I'm not saying Tish was innocent. I feel like Tish and Marcel was being a little sneaky sometimes, and I felt like Kimmy, was like the go between, and then you got Maurice taking up for his brother. But I feel like it wasn't just Melody; it was both y'all, right? So they get to talking. Melody says she don't want to do no business with Martell. She want to do what she was doing back in 2019. So when she says that, Martell says, what, neglecting your kids, and he gets up and leave like the bitch ass that he is. Okay, I think that even I feel like Melody started it and Martell took it a step further because he knows that calling her an unfit mom or saying something to that magnitude gets her riled up. And because she started antagonizing him and picking on him, he felt like he had to respond. So now it looks like it was his fault. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't like that. We'll get into it later, but when I talk about the group or whatever the case may be, but we'll get into it. So So Melody addresses the group and says, "Why do y'all want to work with him?" Marceau says because he's shown himself to be a great, a great businessman. And then Melody says they're not together anymore because of his lack of integrity and values. I mean, Melody, like what has changed in 13 years? Because you're sitting up here saying that it's not the cheating, it's not just the cheating, it's his integrity and his values. Like we should have done all this checking of integrity and values before we got married to him and had four babies by him. Okay, so that's where I'm like, girl, like he's shown himself to y'all was married for over a decade. So you're telling me in that decade you didn't see his true integrity, his true values, you didn't see none of that? So it most definitely was the cheating. Like, and which you endured for 5 years. So let's not do all of that, right? Uh Marceau in his confessional says that Martell is a great friend and a good business partner, but he's choosing to react to everything Melody is doing. That's true, Marceau, but Melody is I feel like Melody antagonizes him. And I mean, I know this is an unpopular opinion. We want to make Melody the victim, but honestly, like I said before, she's the victim of how their marriage ended up. But when it comes to these little confrontations after they've been divorced, she antagonizes him. Okay, here this is a prime example because now we're in the meeting and you're bringing up you're already bringing up a conversation that happened some time ago before we even got to this point between me, Marceau, and Chris. That's number one. The last time y'all got into it, you out of the blue just brought up y'all 13-year anniversary at someone else's anniversary. Like you started, and then because he can't just let it go, he takes it a step further. So y'all, neither one of y'all are innocent. And I'm sorry, she's not innocent. She's not. Okay, so they're talking. Martell calls Melody because his oldest child, Mariah, is crying. Y'all, I felt so bad because that baby was crying. That baby she was just, because she was, I think she felt his energy because I think when he went to go get the kids, the boss baby, she was like, Daddy, that was a short meeting. That was a short meeting. And then, he already had an attitude. He already, he was already kind of in his feelings. And I think the kids read that. And, I think the oldest two, they could pick up on certain shit. And I think that's really what happened. And of course, Melanie didn't get to tell her kids goodbye, right? So Melanie takes Mariah back to the office. Martell, says his daughter's crying because, she said that they used to be their office and now it's just mommy's office, which I think is bullshit. Okay, because I think that's bullshit because how was she gonna know that that's just her office now? Did y'all discuss that with them? Like, I felt like that was bullshit. Okay, so the group talks to Martell about his interaction with Melody, and I put here, I think it's unfair that the group as a collective keeps coming at Martell about these confrontations. Like last episode, they kept coming at Martell. Martell, stop. Martell, stop. No, tell her to fucking stop. Okay? Tell her to stop bringing up shit that ain't got nothing to do with them. Tell her that. I feel like just like they can tell Martell not to respond to certain shit, they need to be telling Melody stop bringing up certain shit that ain't got nothing to do with their relationship. So I hate that. And I hate that I'm even taking up for Martell because I feel like, he's scum of the earth and he does something in this episode that pisses me off as well. But I feel like it's not fair that he's always getting blamed for these interactions that he's having with Melody. That's what I feel like, right? All right, so we're at Maurice and Marceau are playing tennis. Marceau says that he's not doing business with the Holts because they don't know how to act. Like, they know how to act, but they just choosing to act another certain way, okay? I totally agree with him. I 100% agree with Marceau on that. Maurice and Marceau talk about therapy session. Maurice is telling him that Dr. Francis basically said he has two wives. And, Marceau says that that is a reach. Basically, Marceau is saying that I know more than Dr. Francis, even though Dr. Francis went to school for this. He's been doing this for years. He's a licensed therapist. Like, I still know more than him. Okay. And basically, he's saying, like, at the end of the conversation, he's basically telling him, he told Maurice that he wants to hold him accountable. No, I'm not your babysitter. I've expressed I've expressed my concern. You just threw it out there that you're depressed. And as your brother, I am worried about you. And you're telling me that I'm over exaggerating, but you still want me to hold you accountable. No, you know you're depressed. You need to go do something about it. But you want to work yourself to the bone. And then when it gets too late, then you want us to jump in. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. You're a grown ass man. I'm telling you, I'm concerned. I have held you accountable and have pretty much given you a reaching hand, okay, a lending hand, trying to get you over to this therapy session. And because you think that Dr. Francis is good for women or good for men who think like women, you didn't show up. So what more can I do? Shit, I got my own issues I'm dealing with. That's why I was in therapy. Okay, so I think Marceau is full of shit. He's just full of shit, right? He's just full of shit. Kimmy, Tish, and Mel meet up and they talk about the situation between Mel and Martell. Mel says that he throws little jabs and she responds. And I think that's incorrect. Like unless the producers cut some shit out or whatever case may be, I what I see is that Melody will say something, and because she says it in a tone where it's not aggressive, it's actually coming off passive aggressive, then Martell will then respond. So I feel like she's antagonizing him and he's responding to him being antagonized. So that's where we disagree, Melody. They ask about they ask about Martell and Melody. Says Martell felt oh, I'm sorry. They talk about Mariah, and Mel says that Mariah felt that the energy was off, and like that, I agree with her on this one. I felt like Mariah just kind of felt her dad's energy, kind of felt like they were having an argument. I wouldn't be surprised because Melody is very loud, her voice carries. So I wouldn't be surprised if they heard them arguing. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. So she says that, the kids probably picked up on his energy. She didn't get to tell them bye when she told them that she was going to tell them bye. So that was probably, why the baby was crying. Kimmy asks, "What can we do to make sure that you're okay when it comes to Martell?" Mel says not to have her and Martell together at the same time at any of the same events. I think that's the best idea that Melody has come up with. Like, if y'all don't know how to act in a group setting, then maybe y'all need to be together. And if have to come to a place where you two are in the same room, maybe y'all don't need to be. Maybe one needs to be over here on the other side of the room, and the other one need to be on the other side of the room. Cause y'all don't need to have no confrontation. Y'all can hug and then like go. And I honestly feel like at this point, especially what happens later on in this episode, that maybe since y'all can't communicate, I need to get y'all lawyers to communicate with each other. Because this what y'all doing is clearly not working. And y'all need therapy. I need to get them kids in therapy. That's exactly what y'all need to do. Okay, so she says that he needs to grow up, and every time he comes in he always starting with her, which I disagree. I feel like she starts with him and he just takes it too far. Okay, so then she asks about girl, what is going on here? Then she asks about Tish and Kimmy. Um so then they get to talking about the text messages again. They both are going back and forth about who sponsors who's giving more money to who's there for that one more than the other one. And it's kind of getting more draining. And I feel like the more I'm learning about this, I feel like at this point, Kimmy, you're just being a little petty. I feel like you're being very, very petty. Like it what to me, I kind of understand where Tish is coming from in this situation, right? So it seemed like next week Tish is gonna be on some bullshit, but in this situation, I think that Tish really was sending that text message out as a reminder. Okay, everyone, I need this, your sponsorships. And then um I think that Kimmy says, well, Maurice writes the checks, and the only time he doesn't, when he don't write the checks, you call me. So I'm like, well, like maybe this time you should write the checks. Like if he forgets, if because it seems like he's forgotten before, and that's why Tish calls you. So maybe you need to make it your mission to write the check so that you won't hear Tish's mouth. I don't know what needs to happen, but I really feel like we're making this whole text message thing a bigger deal than what it really is. Okay, to me, that's it sounds like she reminded you, and you felt like because y'all wasn't in a good place, she was doing that to be petty. But really, I feel like she was just reminding someone you're not a big talker. So what's the issue with someone texting you? I'm just saying. And then at some point, Kimmy says, "Well, I think she was trying to say that the checks that you send to us are not the same as um is not as, I guess the amount of money that they have supported with Maurice and with Marcel and Tish, they don't receive that same amount of money back. Like they made the donate, but it's not as much as Kimmy and Maurice donates, which I feel like okay, I get what she's saying, but to me it's like you you give what you can give according to your bank account. Okay. I can give you $20. Okay. But now you start talking about 200, 2,000. I can't give you that. What I can give you is 2,000. I can give you $20 of whatever the fuck I got, and depending on what it is. Okay. So I feel like that's not fair. And, you know, we know the head of the household was bankrupt at one point. I'm talking about Marcel. So let's not do that. So Tish in the confessional is basically saying she's tired of explaining herself. And I feel Tish on that, but Tish, sometimes you be wanting Kimmy to explain herself to you. Like Kimmy has had to explain herself to you over the years numerous of times since I've been on this show. So like you tired of explaining yourself, she probably tired of explaining herself to you when it comes to defending you and things of that nature, okay? So Martell is building a house with his partner who was fine. What, his partner fine? Country, big, thick, fine man. He was fine, honey. Okay, and Martell still has not taken his builder's license, and he really ain't even studying for it. So you would think somebody who is, down in the dumps, he's not making as much money as he was with Melody. He's tired of getting it thrown in his face that he don't have his builder's license, because that's all we've been hearing this season. Marcel, you ain't got your you ain't got your builder's license, you ain't got your builder's license, you ain't got your builder's license, okay? You can't depend on your partner for every fucking thing, okay? You have them kids. Well, I don't know whether he got them, 2 weeks at a time, and then Melody got them other 2 weeks. Them times that Melody had them kids, it's no excuse for you to it's no excuse for you not to be studying for your builder's license, okay? I think that's just really lazy. And it's like the business partner was like, he has the software. So why are you, it's just stupid. Why are you buying books? I'm sorry, who still study from books nowadays? Like all this technology we have, I'm sure some on Google can give you some answers, some practice tests for this builder's license. I'm sure it is. You got some books. Bruh, stop playing. And I think you need to go ahead, quit playing, and get that software from your business partner and stop the foolishness. Okay, that's ridiculous. Okay, and I get it. I'm not a test taker either. But if I know I have to take a test, like for my esthetician license, I am not a test taker. You know what I mean? But I studied. Like I was at work. Anytime I was at work and we were slow, I was studying. At home, I was studying. When I was still in esthetician school. When I was studying for my test, I was any little time I got for my to study, I would study. So and they had tests on the internet. I had the book. I had, they had some material on the internet that I was looking up. I did a practice test. Like I didn't make the highest grade, but I passed. Okay. I got my damn esthetician license. I need to renew it, but y'all know what I'm saying. So the fact that I feel like if you really want something, you would do everything in your power to get it. Okay. And so Martell is full of shit. So anyway, Melody FaceTime FaceTimes this fool, and she was like, I need to talk to you about something. Homegirl pulls up and she was like, we need to talk about what happened the other night. So apparently she was on a date. Martell, I don't know whether he was close. I don't know if they were on the phone with each other. I don't know. I think what happened was he was in a meeting and he may have seen Melody walk by, and she was with a date, and he called her. She said she was with somebody, and then he walks up. He's recording them. Like this type of behavior is the reason why y'all should not be in the same room with each other. Y'all should not have any more conversations. Any conversation y'all need should be through a lawyer, because this is past boundaries. You have sat here, you keep saying you don't want her to be your woman. You keep saying that you don't want her to be your wife. So why the fuck do you even care about who she's on a date with? She is the marriage is done, okay? And y'all divorce is finalized, okay? It should not matter who she's on a date with. And I thought it was so disrespectful, and it was beyond just crazy. Because here you was married and had a whole chick on the side, okay? A whole relationship. And out of that relationship, you produced a baby. And now you see that she is moving on with her life. You went up there, interrupted because you could not handle it. Your fragile male ego could not handle the fact that your ex-wife is not only moving on in her career, but moving on in her life, and she is dating. And you did some of the most bitch ass shit I have ever heard in my life. Sir, you need help. You need serious help. And then he's like, do better. Like, really? Why are you gonna take him to our restaurant, our favorite restaurant? It was our favorite restaurant. It is still my favorite restaurant, and I'm going to take whoever I want to take to my favorite restaurant, sir. Okay? You were my husband, and you were messing around with a whole nother woman. And ain't no telling who else she was messing around with. So you was not only cheating on me, but you was cheating on your side chick and your baby mama. Okay? So I don't, the audacity of you to think that she is just supposed to stay single because at one point she was married to you. You didn't do that. And it's crazy. I think that was just crazy. And at this point, she's saying it's disrespectful. He says he don't care. So at this point, Melody, you don't need to have no more conversation with Martell. You need to anything you need to tell Martell, anything you need to say to Martell. If it ain't about the kids, go through your lawyers because he does not know or understand boundaries. He is still hurting. He needs his builder license. He needs some therapy. He needs a life coach. He needs to get his shit together. Okay? Because to me, it's just crazy. He's talking about some do better. So, Mike Martell, she may be doing better. Okay? And doing better is not just about looks. It's about how you treat the individual. Okay? You run around here cheating. So that man she with probably not going to cheat on her and have a whole baby on her. So she could possibly be doing better. She's single. She don't need to do nothing with you. It was a lot. Woo! It was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. So that's the end of the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, you guys. I think that I'm going to be moving Love and Marriage Huntsville on Sundays along with Ready to Love, and then Mondays I'm going to do Insecure and RHOP. I'm not looking forward to child. I may be cussing. Y'all get y'all headphones together on RHOP because I've been seeing these clips and I feel like I'm gonna be pissed off on RHOP. So y'all just get y'all headphones together for that review, okay? But that's the end of the review, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time,